We live in an era where the concept of the working or middle class has taken on a new perspective. What truly matters today is home ownership. The place you currently reside in is not just a shelter, it has become a financial asset that statistically generates more income than you can actively earn. This dynamic has created a significant gap, elevating real estate ownership as a key to financial stability. The prospect for young individuals to receive a home as a gift from a relative often represents the only path to achieving a level playing field. However, this raises crucial questions about the future of the real estate market, especially when the boomer generation exits the stage. Expecting to inherit a home becomes a beacon of hope for those trying to enter the real estate market, but it also raises questions about how these dynamics will impact home accessibility for future generations. The challenge becomes even more complex considering the Federal Reserve's efforts to curb inflation. In this context, the already high cost of homes in many areas poses an additional hurdle for anyone looking to enter the real estate market. The home, once considered a milestone of stability, is transforming into a luxury most potential home buyers cannot afford. Let's explore an ancient financial adage that says the best time to start investing was 30 years ago, and the second best time is now. However, conventional wisdom, while rooted in truth, may require deeper reflection in the current real estate market context. Buying a home at the right time could undoubtedly lay the foundation for financial security for you and your family in the future. The dilemma arises in recognizing that this right time has largely slipped away during school days. Now, facing the prospect of entering the real estate market, unprecedented challenges present themselves. Record interest rates, soaring home prices, and limited availability converge into a perfect vortex of financial complexity. It's crucial to understand that while the adage remains a beacon of wisdom, the current landscape demands a more refined strategy. Recognizing the challenges is the first step towards formulating creative solutions. Exploring new financial opportunities, such as innovative mortgage products or government programs, could open unexpected doors. Let's take a closer look at the dynamics of the real estate market, a world where people decide to sell their homes driven by two fundamental motivations: desire and necessity. It's a fact that anyone already owning a home can't wait to part with it, especially considering that most Americans have fixed interest rates at record levels. The prospect of selling one's home and buying another, however, clashes with a ruthless financial reality. Obtaining a new mortgage would involve interest rates tripling payments on a home of the same value. Data from the National Association of Realtors emphasize that 87% of new home purchases occur through mortgages, with a median down payment for first-time buyers standing at only 7%. This makes it imperative to avoid higher interest rates at all costs. A Wall Street Journal investigation revealed that even when homeowners move to another state, the preference is to keep their existing residence and rent it, subsequently opting to rent a new home to live in. The linchpin here is the awareness of the need to protect the favorable financial conditions acquired, especially in a market where variables can assert themselves forcefully. Strategies like property maintenance and resorting to renting emerge as pragmatic choices, influenced by the caution to avoid rising interest rates. We find ourselves in a sort of stalemate in the real estate market. Those who want to sell their homes are waiting for interest rates to drop, just as those who want to buy a new home are waiting for interest rates to drop. In the meantime, those forced to remain in rental situations are compelled to compete with those who already own a home but are reluctant to sell it because of their favorable fixed interest rates. It's as if the main players in the real estate market are stuck in a sort of standstill, while renters find themselves grappling with what we could metaphorically call a banana. The banana represents the unexpected challenge, the factor that further complicates an already complex situation. In this context, the need arises to consider innovative approaches and creative solutions to break the deadlock. Exploring new investment strategies or considering flexible mortgage options could be the key to opening new perspectives in the current real estate market. The glimmer of hope for those who simply aspire to own a home lies in the opportunity to acquire it from someone who needs to sell. According to a study by the National Association of Realtors, the average seller of a home in America was 60 years old. At that age, one of the reasons people sell their homes is not only due to passing away, but also the need to secure funds for retirement. If you harbor hope that the largest generation of homeowners in America, the boomers, will shake things up, making it easier for people to buy their first homes, I'm here to crush your dreams with facts and figures. An in-depth analysis reveals that economic dynamics drive many of them to sell properties not only for inheritance reasons, but to secure funds necessary for retirement. The reality is that if you don't fall into the first two categories of beneficiaries, you might find yourself further behind when wealth is passed down from previous generations. The greater risk is that this wealth may end up in the hands of private equity firms or other institutional investors rather than reaching you directly. Let's explore the reasons why the permanent exit of older generations from the real estate market won't translate into easy access to home purchases. The first reason is that these generations can take it with them when they leave this world. The inequality between homeowners and renters intensifies further in old age. According to LendingTree data, 80% of Americans over 65 own their homes, and only 19% of them still have a mortgage. Surprisingly, the main motivation for selling their homes is not related to the end of life, but the need to secure funds for a comfortable retirement. This reality highlights how selling properties is not primarily driven by inheritance or succession, but by crucial financial necessity in an age where expenses, particularly those related to health and care facilities, become significant. Facing the future knowledgeably involves understanding how the elderly generation manages their resources and how these dynamics can influence the real estate market. If you have specific questions or want more details on this topic, I'm here to share valuable knowledge and assist you in understanding this complex landscape. Let's take a closer look at the financial burden associated with nursing homes, a crucial aspect when it comes to decisions to sell real estate properties. The average annual cost of nursing homes has risen from a median of $65,000 in 2004 to $118,000 in 2020, as reported by an in-depth Washington Post report. This significant increase highlights the growing financial pressure many elderly people face when seeking care solutions. The situation is further complicated by the deterioration of conditions in nursing homes, paradoxically becoming one of the fastest-growing asset classes for private equity firms like Blackstone and Bain. In 2017, Blackstone concluded a massive $745 million deal with the real estate investment trust Welltower, acquiring a substantial portfolio of 3,400 units for elderly care. These operations clearly demonstrate how the real estate sector, geared toward the growing market of American seniors, is becoming a focal point for investments by private equity firms. Understanding this dynamic is crucial, since the decision of elderly individuals to sell their homes is not always guided by voluntary choice, but often by a crucial financial need to address the rising costs of care and assistance. Now let's explore the financial reality for most Americans, where the average annual income is far from $108,000. Even fewer people can afford such a sum during retirement. In this context, many individuals find themselves compelled to sell their homes to face the growing costs of elderly care facilities. It's interesting to note that while the role of private equity in acquiring single-family homes is often emphasized, these companies have realized that it's not necessary to physically own the homes to benefit from them. States where home prices were already high also host the most expensive elderly care facilities, as seniors in those states have more money to spend. Therefore, when seniors sell their homes, many of these properties may not have the features that a first-time home buyer desires. This dynamic adds an additional layer of complexity to the real estate market, requiring a thorough consideration of buyer expectations in this unique context. The second reason is that the older generation is not leaving homes for you. Only 6% of Americans own inherited properties, and only 3% live in a property that has been passed down to them. Other homes are held by a small group of children from wealthy families as investment properties, often in addition to the homes they already own. So if you think you just have to wait for boomers to pass away to finally afford a home, unfortunately, statistics indicate that their properties will be concentrated in the hands of a few. The third reason is that when assets pass from older generations, most of them end up consolidated in the hands of their already wealthy descendants or institutional investors. A 2017 census report found that a third of American counties had more deaths than births. States like Florida host many wealthy retirees who have gradually replaced normal families in some communities. The homes left in inheritance in these areas may not meet the expectations of a first-time home buyer, lacking fundamental features such as access to job opportunities or good school districts. This reality raises an additional element of consideration in the real estate landscape, as the distribution of wealth does not necessarily follow the path towards the desired housing market for those seeking their first home. The situation worsens when inherited properties in these regions do not have the desired features for those looking for their first home, such as access to job opportunities or the presence of quality school districts. Institutional investors, keenly aware of this disparity, are targeting affordable homes, especially in sunny regions, as they offer a balanced risk-return on investments. While the role of these investors in the real estate market is sometimes exaggerated, they actually represented 13.3% of all residential sales in 2021, according to a report from the National Association of Realtors. Therefore, there's no need to unleash the fury with the famous laser eyes. But in the territories they are targeting, they represent an even larger share of buyers. The boomers will leave their homes, but mainly to already wealthy individuals or institutional investors. It might not be the narrative you hope to hear, but I prefer to offer a perspective based on facts and figures to start 2024 informatively. In times of uncertainty, people often resort to extraordinary measures, explaining why intelligent and well-educated individuals can fall into the traps of scams that promise a vague way out of the daily rat race. This phenomenon is a constant throughout difficult times, and my advice remains the same. Inform yourself and gather information that helps you educate yourself. Thank you for watching this video. If you enjoyed it, I invite you to subscribe to my channel. See you in the next video.